Hey everybody, what's up and welcome back to Stags Be Fixin'. So today we're just going to be priming this little table. So we have, we put a coat of primer before we built it, cut the pieces, put it together, patched all the, screw holes and sanded it down, wiped it off, and now we're just going to do another nice solid coat of primer, give it some extra protection. So we're just going to go over priming this guy and a couple of tips. So I'm using this Valspar primer. I don't think I've ever used this before. It's the first time. I figured I'd grab it and test it out. It's actually what I use to pre-prime the wood before we put the pieces together on here. And I think it does a good job of creating like a bond coat. And I did a scratch test on it when I primed the wood, and no paint scratched off, so it bonded very well to the wood we primed. But I wouldn't use it for anything heavy duty, so light primer like this, it seems like a good product. So, all right, so we're gonna prime this guy out, and we're just, when you dip, I just roll till my roller touches the paint. You don't dump it all the way in. Roll, so it's just kind of kissing. You want the roller just to kind of kiss the paint. Is the best way I could describe it. So this kind of table, the top sticking out a little bit. You could do the top or the bottom first on this one. I think it might be a little easier to do the bottom first and then go to the top. So that's what we'll start with. And we're just using a 1/4 inch nap mini roller. This is something that's like for smooth and semi-smooth surfaces. It's not going to be exactly like a sprayed finish, but you can get pretty close. So just kind of go in here. You can go sideways or you can go vertical up and down. Alright, so get all the insides done real quick. Now we're going to start with outside. Alright, so we just took our weenie roller. Went into here. Now you can just take your brush really and just kind of get some more paint on there. Go down the middle, give it a quick little swipe, and cut in the bottom. So I have these cardboard pieces here to put the feet on. I want to make sure these front edges, no paint is rolled over onto them, because we don't want a big ridge to dry, then we come back and it looks like crap, so make sure none of these, because the roller's touching back here, it could spooge over and a big lip can come on that edge there. We don't want that. You want to keep it nice and just stick. You want to stick to the side you're painting and bring it around the side as you get to it. You want to bring it around the side, let it dry, and then you go to paint the side and it's messed up. So, I actually already rolled this one before I lowered the camera down here, so we're just gonna... Now you don't want to get a big old glob with your brush and get on the cardboard and the table. If you get a little bit of paint on the cardboard, that's not a big deal, but just try to keep it on the table, because we don't want a big gob to like dry. Then when you lift it up, it's gonna pull it with it. You can even, after you paint it, you can even kind of lift it and move it a little bit so it's not sitting right on the spot where you just got paint on, right? So hopefully you guys can see. And so we rolled that. Now we want to get into here, the side, bring it out, bring it out, bring it out, bring it out. Now we can finish it off with a roller. Nice thick coat. You don't have to lay it off. This stuff will lay down pretty decently. It's super thin. Down the bottom. Like I said, there's tons of ways to cut in, right? So you can go like this. You can start your whole brush there and go up. you can, a lot of guys, sometimes guys like to take it and go the other way and push the tip of your brush back and use the back side of your brush to cut in. So whatever way you want to cut in, have at it. Whatever way makes you feel confident with that brush in your hand. Oh, want to get the underside too. Let's not forget that. Lay that front off. And that's it. And you kind of just repeat those steps all the way around. Okay, now we'll get to the top. To get more drop cloths, I got my bucket here. You know, I could do this all day long without dropping paint all over the place and making this mess. But if you're new, I would add another layer of protection here, or you could scoot the table back a little bit and you have a little more space in front to work. So always keep your floor protected. All right, so now we're on the top. You know, there's lots of different ways. As long as you set up a process in your mind before you do it, you know, that's fine. You decide, do I want to do the bottom first, the top first? Do I want to do this outside edge first? Do I want to do it last? Do I want to do this first? Now just load up your roller. So we really don't want to, you know, we're going to go ahead and roll the whole thing really fast. This paint does dry a little quickly, so we're going to go ahead and roll it all out real quick. We're not going to be sloppy about it. We're going to lay it off nicely. It's not going to be full of like big stipple. There'll be a little bit of stipple, but it's not going to be big gobs and look ugly. I would just stick your brush. We rolled most of our paint off our roller, so there's not a lot of paint on our roller here. So very lightly hit that top edge. Use your brush, go along with it. Now the brush is just getting in the spots where it's kind of hard for the roller to get into. The roller can get in there, but you're going to have to press pretty hard, and we don't want to be pressing hard and moving our paint around too much right here. So I'm going to press really lightly and use our brush to help get to the spots that we can't reach. That's all we're doing with our brush here. Just lay off the top edge and you're good. Let's get to this side real quick. That paint in there. We'll have a much easier time caulking now because we're getting this thing full of paint or primer. And seal those corners up a little bit more. Your caulking go that much smoother and have to use less caulking material. And the idea is always to not have to caulk as much as you can. It's not caulking is just to fill the cracks, right? And around this edge, so on this edge right here, we've got to kind of bias our roller this way a little. Take our brush after, real lightly on the top, then we roll the face. We already got the bottom side, so that's all sealed up. Nice and light. Nice and light. That last roll should always be nice and light because we're kind of laying off the paint more than we're putting the paint on. It's kind of like a mop, right? A mop, you use a mop to both put the water or the cleaner, whatever product you're using, on the ground, and you're also using the mop to soak that stuff up. So a roller works the same way, where you're using the roller cover to soak up paint on the surface that, you know, maybe you have a little too much. And you're just kind of laying, that's what laying off is. You're kind of pulling more paint off of it to make it look nice, to make it look even. And boom, we're done. So that's it with our table as far as primer goes. Hey everybody, so real quick, just wanted to mention this primer is all dry and you can see it laid down fairly well. I'm trying to give you guys some light. It's kind of bad lighting in here right now. But yeah, the primer laid down fairly well, I think. You can barely see any stipple on this stuff, just barely. So
you know, use that smooth finish roller, quarter inch nap. Just want to comment on that. So, you know, you can get the same results with most products. You know, if you use the correct tools and you apply it the correct way. So, all right, guys, thanks.